Well, it's been a while since I gave a garden tour, and since we got some really good rain last night and this morning, I thought I would get out here and just walk through the garden a little bit. Everything's kind of perked up. I don't know that that squash there is going to do anything. But this eggplant's going crazy. And it's got several eggplants on it, and I cut. There's a big one back there. And have you ever seen a twin eggplant? Look at that. I've never seen one grow like that, but it's a twin. You got two eggplants coming out of where one flower was. That's very unusual. My vine up there is looking real good. All this is looking good. The cucumber vines, I don't know if it'll have any more cucumbers on it, but because it's been getting down pretty cool at night. So I don't know. And I need to come out here and harvest the rest of my peppers. Got a bell pepper right there. All them little hot peppers. I mean, I cut them all and did all that. I made all that cowboy candy last week, but look at the peppers. I mean, my bushes are full of peppers again. Even these little ones down here are putting out peppers that I planted in the cinder blocks. Look at that. Tomatillos. And some of them are falling because I didn't want to pick them too soon. And some of them are starting to fall. I've been keeping my eye on them so I can at least pick them up when they fall. I mean, look. That one fell the minute I touched it. Look at that. Tomatillos. I don't know what I'll do with them. I may end up having enough to make a salsa with. I don't know. I'll have to wait and see how it all turns out. That pepper bush is just growing crazy. Look at that. Some of those red habaneros, those are like eating fire. I figured the ants wouldn't want to come near them, so. And my brassicas right there, they're looking good. My marigolds, hot pepper there. Got kale. My okra, I just cut okra yesterday. And look at this. They're too tough already. I'll just leave them, let them go to seed, I guess. And that eggplant there is trying its best to put out eggplant. I've got a whole row of okra right here in the cinder blocks, right along with the peppers. And I've been working on my compost bin. I need to put more leaves in there. And look at this. My golden little cherry tomatoes. there were so many green ones on that bush that it's just got it down to the ground. I need to come out here and pick them too. But isn't that something? I mean, some all the way around on that side. That just shows you if you keep your, especially the cherry and grape tomatoes, you keep them alive. And there's Brandywines there. I know they're Brandywines because I can tell by the stripe on them. They'll turn like a burgundy color when they're ripe. There's some more over here. Limb just fell right over on the peppers. And got more peppers coming out too. I had 3 different color peppers right here in these bushes. The red one, the gold colored one, or the orange, and the green one. Well, you can see there, it's putting out green tomatoes. I just hope they all have time to ripen. There's one right there. It's about to fall off the bush. It was so ripe. More peppers, hot peppers. See, and that one's putting out green tomatoes. More hot peppers. I guess they're jalapenos, I'm not sure. I've got to stake up this tomato. I mean, it's just, even though I got most of it staked up, it's just falling over everywhere. Tomatoes right there. Some right in there. I don't know if those are the cherry tomatoes or the Roma. I guess we'll see if they turn ripe. And see here, green tomatoes. Green tomatoes. Green tomatoes up here. And up there. And I'm letting these eggplant go to seed. So they're starting to turn colors. I'm just going to keep those 3 for seed, I think. There's a couple of them down in there. But this poor tomato plant, it's just falling everywhere. Marigolds are looking good. Yeah, if you plant marigolds and hot peppers around your garden, it helps keep some of the critters away from your plants and your vegetables. There's some green tomatoes, green tomato. A little one started right there. Green tomatoes in there. Some of them trying to get ripe. Right there. A couple of them right there. Couple right there. And I've got a pepper plant, bell pepper, back here that's got a pepper on it. Look at that. Don't want to break it off. Can't tell where it's at. But it's way back there. I can't find my hand. Here it is. It'll be big enough to pick pretty soon. Got a big one back there in the back too. I don't know if you can see it. Back there. Walking onions are looking good. They've already done their walking. I mean, they put out baby onions right on the stalks. They look like they travel up the stalk, and then when they dry, you can break them off. That's where I got those little walking onions to plant in the dish pan that I had. And there goes my dish pans. I don't know. I guess it's just too cool on the salad mix, but the tomatoes are sure liking it there. Got radish, and I think this is kale. There's radishes there. Radishes seem to be growing pretty good in the dish pan. And I saw a couple of them way down in there that are, you know, starting to bulb out. So I'll be able to get some radishes before too long. There's one right there, if you can see it. So that was a good thing. And the Swiss chard is growing pretty decent. And these tomato plants are trying to produce. They got blooms on them, but I don't see any more brassicas growing right there. They're looking good with this little bit of rain and cooler weather. Hot peppers right there. And the tomato plants look like they've won out in these two dish pans. And remember, I didn't plant them. They came up voluntarily. There's a couple of them back there growing up in the squash that died. And I'm still watching these tomatoes. Because, I mean, I got a whole slew of them right there. I don't want to touch them because I'm afraid they'll break off. And right there, got one under there that's trying to ripen up. But yeah, it's like I said, if you keep your plants alive through the summer, they'll put out more tomatoes for you at the end of the, the end of the summer, like that. They're trying to turn ripe. I don't know if they'll have time to get fully ripe, but once they start to turn like that, you know, if it starts getting too cold, I'll pick them and take them in the house and let them finish ripening up. I mean, this is Texas. We do have a winter, so. And the brassicas the Brussels sprouts I planted in my tower, they're all looking good. And the garlic. And I forget to open my greenhouse door. And I used a different potting mix with these that I'm trying to root. So I'm hoping they'll get rooted and they don't die on me. Leave that open a little bit and let some air get in there. And there, that one's fixing to put out some more eggplant. And look at the peppers that was planted in the potting mix bag that I put in top of the tote. I mean, all the plants are just taking it over. The banana peppers. I need to pick them. I didn't even know they were on there. I love banana peppers, especially to put them in a salad. And there, handful of banana peppers. I'm gonna lay them over here. Pick them up when I come back through. But look at all the habaneros. And I picked a lot of them when they were still green, but you know, they're extremely hot even though they're green. And I imagine they're even hotter when they turn red. Look like a little Christmas tree. There's so many peppers on it. Yeah, I'll be picking them and making some more cowboy candy with it, I'm sure. Need one up in there. Red one. Bunch of hot peppers growing right back there. I can't reach it. Yeah, I have a tendency to kind of bush up my plants. Look there, I got tomatoes on this one too. And it's falling over onto the falling over on the rose bush. I need to get something to tie it up here, I guess. Can't do that right now. But that one's putting out blooms to put out some more tomatoes. I'll probably get some ripe ones and some green ones by the time it freezes. Peppers on that little bitty one. Could you imagine that? I wouldn't have thought it was big enough to put out a pepper. It's got 3, 4 peppers at the top. And I think that is a Roma tomato there. And the okra, look at that. I just cut okra. But they're going to be seed. I will just leave them for seed. And the rest of my melons. The vines are still green, so I got one back there, one there. I'm going to leave them as long as I can so they'll ripen up. Got one down there. And I got a squash. This one's trying to put out some more peppers. Got a green one back there that hasn't turned red yet. And I got a melon under here. And I got a big squash in there too. Look at that. And I've been throwing scraps in my buckets. I probably should not have put so much dirt in there and stuff and put the scraps kind of closer to the bottom, but it'll be all right. All of that stuff will break down and go to the bottom anyway. I've got a little yellow squash here. And look at this one. It's full of little ripe tomatoes. I need to get out here and pick them before they fall off, I guess. All of them are not ripened, but there's 3 or 4, 5 or so that's ripe that I can go ahead and pick before they just fall off of the vine. See all the green ones? Be good in a salad. There's one that fell over here, fell off the bush. Throw it in the pot. because it's already got a hole in it. And look at that. Those are little cherry red grape tomatoes. And my moonflowers are not looking too good, but they're getting ready to die out. But they got a bunch of seed pods on them. But it's not time to gather the seed pods yet. And I got Swiss chard and dinosaur kale and everything else planted in here with my moonflowers. See, I got one in there. So I just come out here and break the leaves when I'm harvesting brassicas. It doesn't matter that they're growing in with the moonflowers. And my crepe myrtle right there that I planted, it's grown several inches since I've planted it there. So it'll be all right. My rose bush. And there's one of those little cuttings that I rooted last year that I planted the beginning of spring this year. And there's one. See, they're doing real well. They were tiny. Nothing more than a stick with roots on it, but I've kept water to them the best I could. So I think they're going to survive. That one. And that one. If they put down good enough roots and they make it through the winter, they should be beautiful by next summer. Because they'll be a lot bigger. And like I said, I have flower seed that came up in the compost that I put down with this rose bush right here. So I've had flowers and squash and everything else growing in that little hole. And that crepe myrtle, I don't know. I mean, it's going to be okay as soon as we get a lot more rain. But it's tried to die back. But they always do when we get real dry. But then as soon as we get a lot of water, we get a bunch, those crepe myrtles spring back to life. And I wanted to show you, look at that big old worm. I got to get him off of there. He looks like a big old, what do you call him? A catawba worm that my grandma used to go fishing with. I don't see many of them. I've only seen one or two get on the moonflowers. But they will eat the leaves off of your moonflower. He's not wanting to turn loose. To get something else to get him off of there. Oh, there he goes. That big old worm. Gross looking thing. I want to kill him, but I don't want to step on him. And they're hard to kill. I got him off. And he's probably the only one I'll see. But at least they're not getting on my tomato bushes. I'd rather them get on the moonflowers than my tomato bushes. And these okra plants are looking pretty good. And they're still trying to put out okra at the top. This one too. But they're getting a little tough now, so I'll probably leave whatever comes on the plants now as seed and gather my seed from it. But all my other rose bushes are looking good. Yeah, as long as those old worms go on the moonflowers and stay away from my tomato plants, I'll have it made. See, they haven't bothered my tomato plants. I've just seen two this year get on the moonflowers, and that's it. Which, that's a good thing. And get on the flowers, just stay away from my food. But see all those Brussels sprouts? Those are the ones we planted here about a week or so ago. I mean, they're looking good. I mean, give them a couple more weeks and they'll be putting out a bunch of leaves that I can harvest. Well, I guess that's about all I can show you right now. I mean, I'm just tickled to death over my little bitty tomatoes and my tomatillos. Peppers. I got peppers and more hot peppers. I mean, hot peppers is one thing I got out of my garden this year. Because those things grow just about anywhere, as long as you keep them watered. Well, please like, share, and subscribe to my videos. And I'm really anxious for next summer. Look at that one. That's a big old long pepper. Yeah, I'm really anxious to see how my garden does next summer. Hopefully we're not going to have a drought like we've had. So, and I don't know what it is with my clematis. I guess it was just because it was so hot. Because this one on this side in the shade grew a lot better this summer. So hopefully the one on this side will do better next summer. Because it tries to grow. I mean, the new growth on it's looking good. But it's just been too hot. But yeah, it's the time of year that everything is pretty much going to die back unless it's some stuff that you planted for the fall garden. I mean, the cucumbers, the melons, that type of thing's going to die off. And that's to be expected. I'm dropping stuff on the ground. I need to harvest some of my flower seed. That's not quite dry enough yet. Got peppers down in here. Got little ones started right there. Can't even hardly see them. Got a big one right there. But yeah, I planted 4 or 5 or 6 different kinds of hot peppers. So I don't even remember the names of all of them, but I know I planted habaneros, jalapenos, serranos, those little habaneros over there on the other side. So, But I just wanted to get on here and give you a quick garden tour. It'd been about a week or so before I had done one, so. But yeah, this clematis on this side's doing real well. It's all the way up over the top of the arbor. And that one was last year, but like I said, it gets more sun on this side, so I think the sun got too hot on it. And I harvested my basil the other, I come out here and harvested some more basil. Can't even see my basil plant down in there now. So it looks kind of stripped, but it's coming back. So please like, share, and subscribe to my videos. And all of you have a blessed day.